Hi there, Wayne Jennings here. In today's review, we're going to check out this. It's an action camera made by Activeon. This is the Solar XG. It's a great little action camera. It shoots HD video at 60 frames per second. It'll do still pictures, it'll do time lapse. It's got a nice little touch screen on the back. But the really nice thing about this camera, it comes with this. This is a power bank, so you can recharge it, but it has this neat feature. These are solar panels. They flip out, they use the energy from the sun, so you can charge your camera over and over again. A great thing to have when you're out canoeing, camping, and backpacking. The camera itself is quite small and compact and very attractive looking. It appears to be made out of durable materials. The front is dominated by the lens, and on the top we have our control buttons. The main button is your power and your shutter release, and beside it is a button for mode selection and navigation of the menu. There's also a built-in microphone on top of the camera for recording audio. At this end we have our connection ports. There's an HDMI output, there's a USB port for charging, and of course there's your micro SD slot for your memory card. There is no microphone input on this camera, unfortunately. The bottom is dominated by the battery compartment here, and beside it, this is a nice feature, there's a 1/4-inch tripod socket. A lot of these smaller cameras don't have that, but it's nice to see it on this one. It appears to be made out of brass, so it's going to be quite durable. That means you can attach it to any tripod or selfie stick. Nice feature to have. On the far end is a small built-in speaker. And the back is dominated by a 2-inch color touchscreen, which is activated by pushing and holding the shutter release for 2 seconds, and the screen comes on. Another nice exterior feature of this camera, there are these LED indicators for when you're recording. I'm just going to hit the record button here and start recording. And when I do, you notice there's this little blue flashing LED on the front. There's also one on the top. There's one on the back, and there's even one on the bottom. And you can select these. You can have none of them on, 2 of them on, or all 4 of them on. It's just a really nice feature to have. You know, if the camera's set up for a selfie, all you have to do is glance at it. If that LED is flashing, you know it's recording. When you first open up the box, you'll see there are all kinds of goodies included with this kit. There is, of course, the camera, and it also comes with this waterproof housing. The housing has a sealed back door for submersing it. There's also an open back door you can put on. That allows you to get better audio recording, but of course it won't be waterproof using that one. There is a self-adhesive mount so you can stick it on things. It also comes with this GoPro style clip that mounts on the bottom, so you can mount it to other GoPro style accessories. There is an included USB charging cable. It also comes with a very well detailed instruction manual and a very nice little carrying case to put everything inside. Of course, it also comes with the solar charging station. All of the camera functions and settings are accessible through the touchscreen on the back. Now, of course, if the camera is in the underwater housing, you can't use the touchscreen. You have to use these 2 buttons on the top to cycle through the menu. But when the camera is out of the housing, you have this touchscreen on the back. As you see, you have options like video, photo, playback, and then there's a setup menu where you can go in and select specific settings. There's some special effects here. There's like a digital zoom, various filters, metering patterns, white balance, ISO, EV, which is nice to adjust the exposure up and down, various things like that. And then of course you can get into the specifics. If you're shooting video, you can go in and select what resolution, a certain field of view you want, video quality, whether you want the digital image stabilizer turned on or off, and also in, of course, photos. You can select how big an image in megapixels, field of view, things like that, the picture quality. You can also select, whether you want it to be regular photos or time-lapse photos or burst photos. On this side, there's another little menu where you can select based on the shooting conditions, sports mode, a night mode, things like that. It'll adjust the parameters according. And sorry, go back here on the bottom. There's a quick menu that comes up on the bottom here for certain features that you may want to get to quickly without going through the main menu. So if you want to switch it from the upside down mode, that is right here available to you. You don't have to go through the whole menu to get to it. When shooting video, you can choose from the following resolutions: 1080 at 60 frames or 30 frames per second, 720 at 120 frames or 60 frames per second, and 480 at 240 frames per second. You can adjust the exposure value up or down by 2 stops in 1-stop increments. You can set the white balance to automatic or choose from one of 3 pre-selected values. The ISO is also adjustable. Choose either automatic or 6 predetermined values. The light metering pattern can be altered between center, average, and spot metering. And you can adjust the field of view. You can choose narrow, medium, wide, and super wide. When shooting still photos, you can select from the following megapixel sizes: 7, 8.5, 12, 14, or 16 megapixels. When shooting photos, you can also choose from time-lapse, self-timer, and photo burst mode. And with the addition of the waterproof housing, this camera can easily be used in rain or snow, or even taken underwater to a depth of 60 meters. Alright, so this camera appears to have some nice technical features, but how well do the images look? Well, good and bad. The still photos look great. Very sharp and crisp at all field of view settings. There's good color balance and exposure, even on these high contrast scenes with lots of snow and bright sunlight. I was impressed with the time-lapse recordings too. The clouds in this scene fly by very smoothly, with no signs of flickering or stuttering. Now, when it comes to video quality, I got mixed results. My best scenes were recorded at the 1080-30 resolution on the super wide setting. I found that the image quality got noticeably softer when using the narrow, medium, or even the wide field of view settings. So my advice is, leave this camera set to super wide. Okay, so this is a test of the Activeon XG solar camera of the audio. I'm just speaking at the camera. It's about 2 meters away from me, mounted in the canoe here. It's not in the waterproof housing, so the microphones are exposed. So this is just a test to see. I'm just speaking in a normal voice to see how well the audio picks up. Shooting at a resolution of 1080, 60 frames per second will allow you to capture some nice slow motion effects. And of course, the waterproof housing is a nice feature to have too. Now, shooting at a resolution of 720 at 120 frames per second will get you even better slow motion. But unfortunately, the image quality at 720, well, it just seems very soft to my eye. One feature I really like with this camera is its Wi-Fi connectivity. You have to download the Activeon hub for your phone or mobile device, but once in place, it allows you to use this as a remote. So the image on my phone is the same as what the camera sees. Now it's hard to see because they're small and they're kind of light gray in color, but there's icons down here that allow you to switch between playback, photo, and video. So now I can, if I'm in the video mode, I can record my image remotely, or take still pictures or play back my images. There's also a menu on here, basically the same menu as you would get on the camera. So you can go in and adjust your resolution, your exposure, all your other parameters like that. A really nice feature to have is this Wi-Fi connection. One feature I would recommend you do not use is the digital zoom. This allows you to zoom in 1, 2, 3, or 4 times, but I don't know why you would use this. The image gets all pixelated and distorted. It is not a good feature to use. So let me be honest with you, I didn't actually buy this because I needed another action camera. I already have several of those, although I guess you can never have too many action cameras. But the main reason I bought it was to get the solar charger. This is a great little unit. I had been looking around, to buy a dedicated solar charger, and I've seen them priced anywhere from $100 to $200, which seemed kind of steep. But I got this, the charger and the camera. I only paid $59 at a Black Friday sale. So I figured even if I only use that camera, as a backup or a spare, I'm still getting this charger. And I'm glad I did, because I've taken this on several trips. It's been really, really useful thing to have. Just lay it out in the sun. When you're canoeing, I'll lay it out in the boat, or if I'm backpacking, I'll stick it on the top of my backpack. And throughout the day, if it's getting a lot of sun, it's going to recharge. So basically, you can take this along for a week. You don't have to carry extra batteries for you. This is going to recharge most of your devices. A great, great thing to have. The power bank has a generous capacity of 3.7 volts at 5,600 milliamp hours. That's enough power to fully charge your camera 3 times. When at home, the power bank can be plugged into a USB port to quickly charge it. But when you're outside, open up the solar collector panels and place it in direct sunlight. This can be a slow process, as the unit requires 20 to 30 hours of the sun's energy to obtain a full charge. So, leaving it out every day for a little while is a good idea to maintain the charge. But it is a very useful power bank that can be used to charge a lot of your portable devices. So, to sum up, this is a nice little action camera. It's not great. The image quality is not up to par with, say, a GoPro or a Sony action camera. I would suggest you leave it on that ultra-wide setting for best results. And do not use that digital zoom. It just looks horrible. I don't even know why they would include that feature in this camera, because the picture quality just really goes downhill when you switch that on. But considering it comes with this solar charger and it shoots great still pictures, you can do time-lapse, you have the touchscreen. It's a great little combination that you should consider taking along on your next outdoor adventure.